Hey, back in the building. You know who it is. It's Bam. We Made It Podcast. We Made It Podcast.com at We Made It Podcast on all social media. Make sure you check us out. Back in with the YouTube upload is where we drop them game recaps that we're not going to drop on the official episodes. Gonna hopefully do a bunch of recaps this weekend because it's Champions League next week and we've been lacking on Champions League. And I feel like most of that's my fault. But I feel like the last two match days we didn't really cover them. And I'm pretty sure that's my fault. But we're gonna definitely cover it's the good games in Champions League this week coming up. And since we don't like to do a lot of league recaps the week of Champions League because that's kind of boring, gonna drop these YouTube exclusives on your head. The title of this is gonna be Boring Games Need Love Too, because I did watch a boring game, PSG versus Lille. It was pretty boring. Anybody who watched it knows that it was a pretty boring game, but there was some stuff that goes on. And since there's a lot of I've been calling out recently the lazy reporting, the lazy punditry that goes on in soccer media. It's literally just lazy and it's filled with old narratives. People are talking about players, what they did 3 years ago, acting like it happened last week. We don't do that when We Made a Podcast. We watch the games and then we talk about players and teams based on the games, not the recent games. Not based on old narratives. So that's why you got to watch games like this that end up being boring. And you never know. PSG versus Lille last season, the two fixtures in the league. The first one at home, PSG won 2-1. And then when they played in Lille in April this year, but last season, they lost 5-1. It's their worst loss in like forever, like 20 years or something like that. So you never know with these games. You guys got to keep a close eye on matches like this. I didn't know that Lille was not going to start Renato Sanchez and not starting number 9. I didn't know that Osimhen was not going to be there and Jonathan Bamba. But, you get what you get. Anyway, I did do something. Neymar was back his first game since I think it was a hamstring injury he caught. I think he missed 6 games or something like that. Interesting that he started this game and didn't come off the bench. I didn't really like that. I felt like maybe you don't start him because he hasn't played since that game, any real match. So, but whatever. Tuchel's a weirdo and he puts out weird lineups. And I think this is another game where PSG didn't really play that well, but their superior athleticism and skill got them to win again. But yeah, Neymar was starting. And I was like, okay, Neymar starting. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep a tracker of how many times he loses the ball. Not to hate on Neymar, but it wasn't like a Neymar tracker. It was just to see how many times he loses the ball. Because that's one of the things I hate the most is when players lose the ball. And Neymar is a ball loser, certified ball loser. He's not the worst, but he's a ball loser, though. Di Maria used to be the worst ball loser on PSG. He doesn't lose the ball as much as he used to, but I'm going to take ball loser status away from Di Maria for now. But who was the other ball losers? Oh, Ousmane Dembele. Oh, he's a ball loser. He's a baller, but he loses that ball. Anyway, so yeah, I did keep track of how many times Neymar lost the ball. It was a lot. But let's get into the game a little bit. I put Neymar's back. Tuchel, weirdo, starting Marquinhos and Idrissa Gueye in the midfield. Just straight up weird. Yeah, I did mention that Lille beat PSG 5-1 last season. That game was crazy. In the 9th minute, I put that Lille had 2 chances. This game was boring. Honestly, I'm not going to go through the whole game because nothing really happened that was that crazy. Icardi scored in the 17th minute. It was literally his second touch of the game and the first touch with his foot. Because the other touch before that was like him not necessarily winning a header, but there was a ball that went up and he headed it back to whoever that was. His second touch was a goal. It was a nice cross by Idrissa Gueye. What's his name? Jose Font missed the cross that came in. Like he kicked forward and he missed it, and it ended up falling to Icardi. Icardi is like the epitome of a poacher. Like it's insane to me. Like this guy is just literally the most lucky guy when it comes to scoring goals. Like if we made it, like I'm not denying Icardi has skill, but his level of skill, like people think he has more skill than I do. But if the level of skill that Icardi has, as We Made It podcast definitely have that in what we do in media. If we could just have a fraction of Icardi's luck, that'd be great. But yeah, nice goal. Well, not really that nice, but it was a goal nonetheless. In the 17th minute, it wasn't necessarily. I mean, it kind of like hit off his foot more than he tapped it in. But I could see how he would kind of miss that because you would definitely think that Jose Fonte would have got the ball, but he didn't. 31st minute, Di Maria ended up getting a goal. Draxler. It was an assist for Draxler. Di Maria kind of ended up on it by himself on the right side over there. Got a nice shot in there. It was pretty easy for him. Draxler kind of ended up doing all the work, really, to get the ball to him. One player for Lille that was doing way too much, Jonathan Ikone. Wait, is it Ikone? Is it Jonathan or is it Jonathan Bamba? What the hell is Ikone's name? I forgot. Caesar has a picture with him either way from the beach in Santa Monica. Ikone was holding the ball a lot. Like, it was just... He had a bad game. I put that later, that he had a bad game. There was one play at the end of the game. It was a really frustrating thing. Like, he has talent, but it's like you need to play football more than just try to use individual skill. But yeah, I also put in the first half that Lille needed number 9 in there. I feel like they should have started with Loic Remy. Halftime it was 2-0. Draxler had a good chance in the second half, early in the second half. In the 56th minute, I put that it was really good defense by Neymar. Neymar went down there, was playing D. He won the ball and then ended up winning a foul. I mean, he got the ball and ended up winning a foul. You like to see that. I've never considered Neymar like a lazy player. Like he does like contribute on defense. Like he's not like Messi where he just like walks around. He definitely will like get stuck in there if he needs to. Not like too much, but as much as you want him to. 61st minute, Renato Sanchez came in. Renato Sanchez is a good player, still a good player. You like the way he wants the ball, and when he gets it, he turns and looks forward. Soft feet, stout player. I still like him, honestly. And I was saying before that PSG should get him, to be honest with you, but PSG's not that cool. But he could end up doing his thing for Lille. I'll talk about Lille in Champions League in a second. 65th minute, Mbappe came on for Neymar. Let me go through how many times Neymar lost the ball. I'm going to say each minute he lost the ball, and then I'll count them up. So Neymar lost the ball. Ready? 2nd minute, 4th minute, 6th minute, 8th minute, 13th minute, 15th minute, 19th minute, 31st minute twice, 36th minute, 40th minute, 44th minute. That was the first half. In the second half, I saw him lose the ball in the 56th minute and the 64th minute, right before he got taken off. So that's 14 times Neymar lost the ball. I'm not saying he had a bad game necessarily, but he lost the ball a lot. He had a couple of chances that could have ended up being like hockey assists, and I think he had a shot, but he lost the ball a lot. What's his name? Loic Remy came on for Ikone. I put Ikone had a bad game. 75th minute, there was a play where I just put Icardi so slow. Cavani came on in the 78th minute for Icardi. And the game ended 2-0. Kind of a boring game, but for the sake of both teams who are in Champions League, nobody got hurt, and I think some players got to like stretch their legs after the international break. A lot of players did a lot of travel. So good win for PSG. Going into Champions League, PSG will be playing Real Madrid in Madrid. Right now, PSG is top of the group with 12 points. Real Madrid has 7 with 2 more games left. So potentially PSG could end up in second place. They've already qualified for the second round, I think. But, I mean, the next for the knockout stage. But it can still determine who gets first or second, which doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I guess it does on some level, but not really. They beat Real Madrid. PSG beat Real Madrid. What was it? 3-0 at home? So we'll see. Real Madrid's been playing better lately. They were playing really bad beginning of the season. Real Madrid have a chance if Bale doesn't start. If Mbappe starts with PSG, I almost don't think Real Madrid has a chance either way because Mbappe is just kind of insane. I think this next game for Real Madrid will be a big test for Mbappe. Not that Real Madrid is like super amazing, but just to see how he performs in that stadium, which I think he will. Lille will be playing Ajax at home. Lille's bottom of their group with 1 point. And Ajax, Chelsea, and Valencia all have 7 points. Lille can still make it into second. They can still advance, technically. If they get 2 wins and their goal differential goes up, they can still advance, technically. Lille's not a bad team, but they've been not performing well in Champions League. I haven't watched... Did I watch them? I haven't watched Lille in Champions League yet, I don't think. But... yeah, they're sitting on 1 draw and the rest are losses. But yeah, anyway, boring game today, but we're going to try to get some recaps of other games this week. I'm definitely going to watch some EPL. I'm going to watch, I think Real Madrid is playing Real Sociedad, and there's some game in EPL that I think is supposed to be good. Was it Man City versus Chelsea? I can't remember. Oh, and also Copa Libertadores final is this weekend. River Plate versus Flamengo. I still don't know who I'm going for yet. Caesar be mad about that. I think I might be going for River Plate, honestly. Like, I think I might. I don't know yet. Like, I kind of want to go for Flamengo, but I kind of want to go for River Plate. I don't really know. Like, I don't really rock with Argentina like that. But if I was to rock with a team in Argentina, I like River Plate just because Falcao used to play there. But yeah, we'll see. We might save the Copa Lib recap or whatever for the actual episode coming next week, which we'll most likely be recording Wednesday night. But yeah, we made a podcast. Make sure you check us out and follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube page if you're listening to this. Go follow us on Spotify and whatever else thing you listen to podcasts. Go grab your mom's phone, your dad's phone. Just, if they got Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever, just hit the follow button. It ain't going to do nothing but give them a notification. They can just listen to it or not. But we are the best soccer podcast in the world, and we don't do lazy punditry. Like a lot of these other guys, I'm not going to call them out by name, but they're frustrating. It's really annoying that they get this platform, and they're just lazy about it. Anyway, we made a podcast. Holler.